back on track. So let's see. So next we have Chris. Chris says, hello Mehran, I'm moving into my house soon, but as you know, it will be on my own. And what a delightful and what a happy occasion that you will be on your own and you will not be having the entourage of unnecessaries, which you seem to think they were an important part of whatever you accomplish in life. No. When you focus on a past relationship in the light that you were thinking about it while you were choosing that relationship, then you'll have a hard time moving on. When you were choosing that relationship was a way out for you because you had just come out of a 16-year-old relationship and you were lost and feeling like, something has been taken away from you, which had a direct connection with the conditioning you had received in your consciousness since childhood, that if something is taken away from you, that means you've been a bad person. You know how we were punished when we were kids, you can't do that because you did that. So if something was taken, you can't go take your bike and go biking because you did that. You didn't finish your homework. So something was taken away from a privilege or a cookie or something. And we were conditioned to think if something's taken away from us, that's signifying that we've done something bad. We've been a bad boy. So something taken away, we feel guilty. We feel we've done bad. And if we receive something, whether it's a cookie or a relationship, we feel like, oh, I'm being praised, I'm good, I'm successful, I'm worthy, I'm affirmed. By what? Nobody is around to affirm me, but by my own thoughts that I've created from outside to look down on me and judge me. Well, what's judging me? My own thoughts are judging my own thoughts. I've created something outside of myself and feeling that it's observing me. And that observer is telling me that you're good because she's with you. Or taking away something from you. Oh, that sounded like Yoda. Taking away something from you. That means you've been a bad boy. So naturally, because of the conditioning you've received, you're treating this breakup not just as what it is, a breakup. Something that wasn't suitable and she wasn't qualified, or however it was. You don't look at it that way. You look at it as a judgment on you, that it is actually signifying that as the conditioning I've received since childhood, something has left me, taken away from me, in this case the relationship, the girl's left, so that signifies to you, triggers you as I'm being punished, I've done bad, I've been a bad boy. And who wants to feel bad? No one. So when something that you attributed is the reason why you feel bad, that makes you feel a bad person, you want to get that. You want to get it in order to feel good. Not because that thing that you want to get is actually really good for you, but because that's an instrument that makes you feel that you're a firm person, you're an okay person. You're not a bad person because it's not taken away from you. Because taken away is been evidence for you to feel that you're at fault of some kind. So that feeling is what plays with you, and now that you're going into the house that you bought, which was what you wanted to eventually have with that other one, the one that you were with before this one, or when you replaced this one for the situation that you were in then, and then you were hoping to have a house and all that, and you were having it, but it was her mother's and you were paying for it, and all that whole story that you're aware of. So now that you have your own opportunity, you say, why didn't she stick around so I could give her this? Why should you give her that? Why do you think she's qualified to receive all these? Why do you have to pay for things that will make you happy and put you on the path that you were hoping to be? Why do you have to pay for it? Why is it up to you that should try all the time to bring this sort of a echelon of life? And now you think it's not worth anything unless you share it with someone who wasn't actually qualified. Focus again on what she was bringing to your life. You were bringing yourself to her, presenting yourself, your efforts, who you are, what you can do, what you can add to the relationship. And she was bringing her schedule, her intentions, her plans to make you want her plans. Her plans was to live in her mom's place. Both of you pay for it, so mom is actually paying for the mortgage of her house. You're not owning. You wanted to own with her. She didn't want to. That was a bad. And she had what? 3 kids? What makes you to be deserving of 3 kids suddenly? I'm not saying that it's a derogatory to you. No, I'm just saying both ways. Why should you receive a package of 4 people when you just wanted to have a relationship with one woman? They're not your kids. So there must be something really amazing about this girl, that you're willing to take her plans, her differences, conflicts that you have, and plans and paths in life, and 3 kids. What was that so amazing, special thing about her that would have made it justified for you to sacrifice much more than you should have in order to be in that relationship with her? What? If you can actually sit down with yourself and go through that, and you find at least 10 or 20 things that was so amazing about her, then maybe you have a case. But I don't think so. I doubt if you can find 1 or 2, or maximum 3. Which means respect yourself. Enjoy your home, and wish this home to be for you and for someone who would be bringing the same amount of positivity and coordination as you would have hoped to the table. And together you will build a life, and you will bring the same kind of weights or baggages or luggages together, not more, not less. The idea of just wanting to have the warmth of a woman who you barely got to know, and for the reasons of being together, and that woman has many other things that comes with her, it's a bit too much. There should be some justification. You know, they're not poor to be in the street for you to feel guilty or responsible to bring and feed these kids. No, they have their grandma, and you know, they're wealthy and have enough stuff, and they're being taken care of by the grandma, and the mother is just doing whatever she's doing. So there's no urgency there as far as that is concerned. Then what is there for you to suddenly become a father of 3? Why? I'm not against of being a good person and being a good Samaritan and helping people and so on, but there has to be a justification, and so much to give away for what? What are you gaining? And you notice that what she's doing right now is totally illogical. Almost a 40-year-old woman is now engaged to a 23-year-old man. So what does that tell you? The woman is actually has plans that are not balanced. If she's manipulating, well, I don't know. But wouldn't you think that it is not a good idea for a 23-year-old boy to be duped into getting married with a 40-year-old woman with 3 kids? And if that woman allows that to happen, which means that woman is not really necessarily focused on that boy's future, she's just taking advantage of an opportunity. read into the story yourself. And if that's the case, that suits you to understand, makes you to understand what you should be focused on, then you will go on, get your house, enjoy it, be happy, and make your happiness based on what you want to accomplish, independent of whatever else that comes to your mind. And just because something comes to your mind doesn't mean it has any credibility. These are negative thoughts to make you think that you're not good enough on your own. You have to have the past in order to be good in the future. That's bullshit. I just uploaded a video a couple of days ago, which is titled How to Get Your Past, or something like that. Let me see. What was the title here? It says, how can I get the past back? So I think that's a video that you might want to take a look at. And I'm going to put the link up here. And let's see, Command V, yeah, there it is. So you might want to check this out. And I hope you'll enjoy it. So I think you should be greatly happy and with your accomplishments. I'm proud of you, how you've done. You're buying your own house, and now forget the past, go in the future. The past is non-existent, and you shouldn't waste your time on it. All right. After Forever 6 says she also quit her job. Oh, have I missed something here? Oh, here it is. SL says, hi Mehran, hello Stephen. Male 39, Los Angeles, good to see you dear. After Forever 6 says, long story short, I've been in a relationship for 7 years. She ghosted me 2 months ago. Okay. And run with another guy. Okay. All her stuff are at my place. I'm 90% sure she will come back. But I can't calm down at all. What's there to calm down? You just got your ticket to freedom by noticing someone that you've been with for 7 years is so unreliable that ghosts you. So that wasn't a relationship. That's some kind of a passing time. And the quality of the woman or the man is represented by their actions. So the action that she took obviously should give you all the stories that you need to know about her. And having heard that story, obviously, you're still saying you can't calm down? What do you mean? What's there to be not calm about? You should actually be going and counting your stars that you came to know this before you would have become more serious than whatever it was that you guys were to each other. And after Forever 6 continues, she also quit her job. Her dad talked with her Friday and he said that she regrets a lot. She misses me, our house, but she's too stubborn to admit and come back. I can't contact her. She blocked me everywhere. So in other words, you want to take responsibility for her insolence, her mischievous behavior. It's none of your business. Why is it that you guys miss a woman so hard even though she's the one who ran out with some other guy? Are you that thick, all of you, or are you all so stupid that have no value for yourselves and you think pleasure is more valuable than your life and what you want to accomplish in it? Because that's all it is. If a woman has behaved in such a way that has clearly made you realize that she's not faithful to that relationship, or she's not interested to make that relationship work, but you still miss her, that means your logic is out of whack. Because it means you have no value for yourself, but you have value for the pleasure. Because obviously, the person, the persona who you had a relationship with is not qualified, because that's what you have a relationship with, her consciousness, the person, the persona. She's not qualified. But the pleasure you receive with her bamboozles you and overshadows who you're having a relationship with, and you think that the pleasure is what you're having a relationship with. For the sake of pleasure, you want her back. You don't want her back because of what she has done and how she behaves and how she thinks, and that you're not compatible on the consciousness level. But you still want her back. Why? Because there's a pleasure in there. So in other words, pleasure is what you're having a relationship with. It's impossible. You cannot have a relationship with a pleasure. Pleasure is not smart, is not intelligent, doesn't have intelligence, is dumb. Pleasure is just that, a fulfillment of desire. But it's not a character, it's not a persona, it's not a person, it's not a center, it's not a consciousness, it's pleasure. So you're treating or trading your dreams and your compatibility with something or someone for feeling good. Feeling good through intimacy, through affirmation of some kind, but pretty much is all that instance of the pleasure that you're focusing on. There's nothing else that you can bank on. You can't build a relationship with pleasure. You can't build a future with pleasure. You can't build communication with pleasure. Pleasure will always dominate you. Pleasure will always be a dictatorial relationship. Why? Because pleasure has no brain. Pleasure is just how you feel. And how you feel due to receiving certain pleasure is the way you are put together, is the design of you, is the way you are programmed in your genes to be receptive to that emotion and desire that emotion. That is what it is, but there is no other thing for you to connect with. And it's not the pleasure that is qualified, it is your ability to enjoy and interpret that pleasure and turn it into something wonderful emotionally for you. So it is you who gives the characteristics that the pleasure has. It is you who feels what the pleasure makes you feel. It is your ability to feel pleasure that makes pleasure so valuable. It is your hunger that makes apple important. Apple by itself, if you're not hungry, has no value to you. You will pass by it 100 times, won't even look at it. But when you're hungry, you look at the apple, you think apple is worth $1 million, because it is your hunger that makes that apple important. It is your ability to sense, feel, and enjoy pleasure that makes pleasure valuable. Otherwise, pleasure by itself has no smart, has no persona, has no presence, has no reality to it, and has no value on its own. You are the one who gives value to pleasure. So if you try to have a relationship with pleasure, you're having a relationship with your own desires. And that's not about having a relationship with another person. That's not a qualification for the other person. That's your ability that you can feel pleasure through some activity. But that activity is not the one who actually is qualified for you to have a relationship with. I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to say. I hope you do. But remember, if you choose a woman as a solution for your problems, you're always in trouble. If you choose a partner as a solution, because no partner is a solution, solution is in you for your problems, for your challenges. You bring the solution on your own, independent of a relationship. A relationship is not supposed to be considered a solution to your problems or your shortcomings or what you want to accomplish in this world. A relationship is just that, a relationship. The rest of it is independently, should be resolved and dealt with in your life. So you can't have a relationship with pleasure and you're focusing on the pleasure part of that relationship, not on the persona that you had the relationship with. If you focus on that person, then you will see that person is not qualified for you to have a relationship or be compatible with. But if you focus on the pleasure you receive from a person, then you will miss the idea and who that person is, and you'll be focused on the pleasure, because the pleasure is what you're ultimately feeling good about and you're seeking. Our life is based on pain and pleasure. So when something you sniff, there's a pleasure into it, you think it's what that thing it is that brings you that pleasure is also a good thing, but it's not necessarily. Many people get pleasure from drinking or drugs, but they are not good for health, are they? But they're not focused on that. They're only focused on the pleasure they receive. Therefore, they forego qualifying what entity it is that they're receiving that pleasure with, which you should be focused on. What is that person that you're trying to have a relationship with that you're receiving pleasure from? You're not focused on that. You're only focused on the pleasure. And as long as you're only focused on the pleasure, you will miss the boat. That what it is, what kind of boat it is that you're on. Because you're focusing on the fantasy of where this boat is taking you. Not what you're really on. It's going to sink in a moment, and you really didn't focus on the quality and the condition of the boat. So don't focus on the pleasure you receive from a person. Focus on the person, and then once you find that person, according to her behavior, mentality, compatibility on the conscious level, and the behavior and the actions and activities in lifestyle, then you may decide to further that relationship and bring the pleasures that you each can provide to each other. All right, having said that, it can be a long discussion on these things. I try to make it short, but somehow I just feel I don't want to short sell you guys. But then again, it turns into a personal discussion of consultation, and that's not what we want to do here. We want to answer as many questions as we can. So we go to the next one. Wookie says, send thanks. I will check it out later, Wookie. Sapphire Dragon says, so much value in your words, Mehran. Really appreciate it. Keep it up. You don't need many subscribers. You help so many people. I'm so thankful for your advice you gave me a few months ago. My pleasure, Sapphire Dragon. And I forgot the protocol, and you did too. Remind me, guys. Although your screen names are familiar to me, but I would love to be reminded of a little bit about you, like gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Excalibur says, greetings to my brother from another Persian mother. Hello, Excalibur. And he says, hope you're doing well, dear. Hope Vancouver is not too cold. Well, actually, it is getting too cold. And that's why I guess I've closed the windows, but it is cold. A few nights ago, was it last week, I was coming back from the gym. It was like 12 o'clock. It was 2.5 degrees Celsius. That was pretty cold. But of course, we've had, I remember it was like a few years back. I was a bit younger. I think it was maybe 10, 12 years ago. I was just kicking my soccer ball in the field in the snow. It was -3. And didn't think much of it. And Excalibur says, oh, Mehran, always get angry about missing someone who left. Okay. Excalibur says, damn, that's cold. Well, yeah. And Excalibur says, I didn't hear the cars passing by, so I also thought the windows were closed. Yeah, the windows are closed. Let me see. After Forever 6 says, well, we grew up together. We grew up together in all this time. Helped each other. We planned a wedding in 2 years. She ran because of her childhood untreated issues and some fights we had. Yeah, well, okay, whatever. But it's not your responsibility. If somebody has some issues or some fights that two people who have been together for years may have, well, that's no reason to run off with another guy. If somebody does that, that's an unreliable person to have a relationship with, because how many other times she's going to do things like that? Well, if you're angry, you're upset, maybe you can just, I don't know, leave, go to your parents, or go to a friend of the same gender and or maybe just go move out and get an apartment by yourself until you sort things out. But you don't run off with another guy, or if you're a guy, you don't run out with another girl just because you're pissed off at your partner. It just doesn't make sense, does it? You got to judge people not just by the way they talk or look, but the way they behave. Actions. Not talks, not words. A combination of physical and non-physical communication. Words, action. Intention, words, actions. All right. So, I wonder if YouTube actually lets people know that we are online. It is not really logical to accept that out of 18,500 people that could be notified, at least a few thousand of them have clicked on the bells, I bet you. Only 13 people we have here. So if you guys wonder why we are not worldwide known, something is fishy. I don't know what's going on here. Excalibur said, I asked a few of my friends, Mehran, YouTube notifications are total disaster. They don't work. Yeah, they don't work, and they're shooting their own foot, because when they don't give notification and such a good quality of live talks or videos that or channel that we have, people won't get to know it. So if they don't view it, less advertisement will be viewed, less money YouTube makes, and of course the channel will not make money either. And so I really don't know what else we can do in order to be noticed by people around the world. It's like we are being hidden, and what kind of an apparatus is this that all the effort goes in, and the videos that I put on with all that effort, see 200 people watched it. There's something wrong. It doesn't make sense. And if it's going to be that hard to actually be noticed, well, perhaps it's not really worth expecting so much from it. And therefore it just will be a side thing, and not much time will be allocated to it in order to actually be able to reach more people and help more people and make that to be a full-time thing that when one loves to do, could do. Excalibur says YouTube is excellent at shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, you know, it's like when a mother hides her son's eyes with her hands when a scary scene comes on TV. You're the scary scene and YouTube is the mother. Yeah, I guess so. But I would like to think of myself as the friendly scene, and YouTube would be more than happy to make sure that people notice us, because our content is a solution to people's challenges. We open people's eyes. We help them to see who they are, how they're put together, and become the mechanic of their own machine, and help themselves in every step of the life that they're making. So we bring light to people's psyche, and that is what I was hoping would be noticed and celebrated about our channel. It's a disappointing journey, but nevertheless, journey must go on. Excalibur says, I still have faith in Reddit. I don't even know how Reddit works. I don't know if anybody writes anything about us on Reddit or chats on Reddit about us and makes us to be a topic of discussion. And Excalibur says, it's a great way to spread the words. Then goddammit, Excalibur, get on it, if that's the case. All of you, the ones who actually want this channel to be noticed, and if you're happy with it, and if you received help with it, and you find it valuable, then bloody well do something to promote it. I don't know, university radio shows, university papers, local papers, local radios, television, maybe news that it can be reflecting what we are, what we do here, and they can do an interview with me by all means, or you guys can bring a topic up on Reddit and chat lines and places like that, Discord and all that. So